In ancient times, when a great flood covered most of the land, a war waged between a whale and a bird. Their battle rocked mountains and uprooted trees. Sometimes the bird captured the whale, but the whale was tricky and always returned to the water. Their feud continued until the bird had enough and left the whale in peace. The whale became the great killer whale. The bird was the Thunderbird. And this is Legends from the Pacific. Aloha, and thank you for joining us. This is Legends from the Pacific, episode 90, The Great Thunderbird. I am Kamuala Kaneshiro, a native Hawaiian professional writer, speaker, and Comic-Con panelist with extensive film and television experience. I study mythology, I've encountered unusual things, and I'm a geek. You can support us by getting 2 or 3 of your friends to listen to our show. This simple request goes a long way in helping us grow our show. Later in this episode, your featured song in Hawaiian word, but first, the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird is mostly a protector that represents strength, power, and nobility. Its earliest images were traced to 800 CE, and there are 2 intriguing facts I'd like to point out about this creature. First, the Thunderbird is unique because it is shared throughout the Native American people. While this causes variations to the creature, it is very rare for vast cultures to share a common being. Second, the origin of the Thunderbird is unknown. The Thunderbird is so massive, one of its feathers must be folded to fit in an arrow quiver. Interestingly enough, the Thunderbird has teeth, and as our opening story illustrated, it fishes whales from the ocean, which it tries to eat. As a side note, our opening story's battleground is believed to be Washington's Olympic Peninsula, which is why the area remains barren. The Thunderbird creates thunder by flapping its wings. Lightning comes when it blinks its eyes, though some believe lightning is from 2 snakes on the bird's chest. The Thunderbird carries lakes on its back, and rain is caused when the lakes drip. Thunderbirds can take human form by removing their feathers like a blanket and sliding their beaks up to their forehead like a mask. Since the Thunderbird is widely shared, it has many names, enemies, and stories. One tale involved 2 warriors who wanted to discover the source of thunder. During their journey, one was crushed and became part of the moon. The other found a tribe of Thunderbirds who put him in a large mortar where he was crushed and transformed into a Thunderbird. While this sounds horrible, I believe the warrior embraced his transformation. Other beliefs include if a man fasts and envisions a Thunderbird, he will become a great war chief, and boys who speak backwards are disguised Thunderbirds. Near Washington's Beaver Prairie, a hunter looked for food. The skies darkened, thunder rattled his teeth, and the distant ocean churned. A Thunderbird flapped and fiercely attacked a massive whale. The whale hit the bird, but it was no match for its opponent, and it was fished from the water. The hunter hid as the bird neared. It struggled flying, placed the whale on the prairie, landed beside it, and slept. The hunter collected a loose feather and hurried to his tribe. He showed the feather and explained the whale could be theirs. His chief nodded. The tribal elder frowned. Stealing from a great protector isn't living in harmony with nature. The warrior explained the Thunderbird wouldn't know if they were fast and quiet. The chief smiled. He sent messengers to neighboring tribes to quicken the process and share the meat. They converged on the prairie. Quietly, they worked near the Thunderbird, taking all of the whale. The Thunderbird woke, discovered its missing meal, and smelled the thieves. It created a great storm. The tribes were caught in the rain that became bits of hail and grew to the size of stones that pummeled the land and didn't stop until everyone was dead. The Thunderbird turned their bodies into rocks, which remain to this day as a warning for the greedy. Today, some researchers believe Thunderbirds were prehistoric animals that survived until modern day, since it'd be difficult for the large creatures to hide. Thunderbirds continue to be strong symbols and are carved on top of totem poles. Marvel Comics adapted the Thunderbird story to create the superhero Apache. The Thunderbird name was used by car companies. The Thunderbird star constellation can be found near Scorpius, which some know as Scorpio, or Maui's fishhook. Then, of course, there's the Air Force Elite Flight Demonstration Squad, the Thunderbirds, stationed in Colorado Springs. For the record, there's also the Blue Angels, which are Navy and based in Florida. I was looking forward to sharing this episode with you, since the Thunderbird always intrigued me. Growing up, I'd always ask about it, and the usual answer I got was, the Thunderbird is a Thunderbird. This disappointing answer is part of the reason why I made our podcast, because I feel you, like me, crave a deeper understanding of the mysteries beyond our stories. If you like what you heard, please give us a rating and write a review. I'd really appreciate it. Our theme song is Mystery by Tavana, courtesy of High Sessions. Sound effects are by Sound Effects Factory. Our music coordinator is Matt Duffy, aka DJ TripleBypass. Links and show notes can be found on our website, legendsfromthepacific.com, including a link to your featured song, which is Just the Two of Us by Iron Mango, courtesy of High Sessions. Legends from the Pacific was written, produced, and edited by me, Kamuela Kaneshiro. I also wrote our original stories. Your featured Hawaiian word is manu. Manu means bird. An example of manu is penguins are flightless manu. Once again, manu is Hawaiian for bird. Thank you once again for listening. Mahalo and a hui ho!